My name is Tojamo Izum, and I'm a recovering drug addict. By the grace of God, with the help of my family members, well-wishers, I am clean and sober today. I started using drugs when I was very young, full of curiosity, peer pressure. My first encounter with drug was what we call the gateway drugs, tobacco, alcohol. And later on, I went on to using hard drugs. I never used drugs to become a bad person, ruin my career, spoil relationship, or land into troubles. Initially, I was managing with my pocket money, but as my disease progressed from bad to worse, my life became unmanageable. I started doing things that I would never imagine that I would do in my life. I went to any extent to support my drug use, beg, borrow, and steal. Soon, I became a junkie, and I dropped out from school when I was in class 9 and ended up on the streets. My family went from pillar to post to help me quit my substance. I myself tried many methods to quit, but nothing worked. It was late by then. I started experiencing withdrawals and cravings, due to which, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't quit my substance, and the vicious cycle continues in my life. I started to believe that I will die like my other friends did, either through a drug overdose or would be shot by UGs. But God was gracious. He answered the prayer of my parents and well-wishers. A ray of hope came when some recovering friends of mine came and informed me about drug rehabilitation center. In the rehab, I was taught that I was not a bad person, neither I was a mad person, but I was sick. And it can be treated, my disease can be treated, provided I was willing to go to any extent for my recovery. In my 6 months course in the rehab center, I was taught with a lot of coping skills. I was taught to improve my character defects, work on them, and accept life the way it is without alcohol and drugs. After my rehabilitation completed, with the support of my family and well-wishers, I started my life all over again from scratch. Right after my treatment, I went for a residential counselor training course. At the same time, continued my studies and went to complete my bachelor in social work. Later, I completed my master's in social work as well as completed my master's in public administration. Today, by the grace of God, I am clean and sober for the last 17 years. I am currently working as the technical specialist for Northeast Technical Support in the National AIDS Control Organization, providing technical support to the state of Manipur and Nagaland in implementing HIV/AIDS program. Before I conclude my sharing, I would like to give some few suggestions. Firstly, as the theme goes, listen first. It is important for parents to give time and listen to their children. Many a time, through my experience as well as through observation, it has been observed that family parents are willing to give anything to their children as and when they demand, but they are not able to give the quality time that children require. Hence, parents must understand spending quality time with children makes a lot of difference, especially when they are young. Secondly, I would also like to tell youngsters who are here today and who are out there that drug is not a cool life. I have a lot to say, but because of the limited time, I'm limiting my sharing. But I have suffered a lot in my life. I was chosen by God's grace to come back to recovery. you may never know that you may never get a chance to come back like me. Many of my friends couldn't make it to where I am. So do not try drugs or alcohol. Enjoy your life by doing innovative things and by spending your time on recreational things. And finally, I would also like to request the law enforcement agency to view drug addiction not only as a crime, but also as a public health issue, and coordinate with NGOs working both in demand reduction and harm reduction to provide treatment options to them. Thank you for your patient hearing.